Fantasy football is my religion.
Alrighty guys, so I recorded the intro for this a couple days ago, and I watched it back and it was complete dog shit. I think I got a little bit too saucy with the video, so my bad. We're doing the draft video today. As you can see by the very dramatic intro, I've already been having some fun in the editing software. So we're going to talk about vocab for drafting. We're going to talk about what an ADP is, what the experts' predictions are, different conspiracy theories, draft strategies, how the draft works, top to bottom draft. The draft is very important for the rest of your season, obviously. So it's important to know how to draft and everything. The past 3 years, I didn't do any practice. I just would get absolutely smashed with my friend. We'd do our fantasy draft, and then I would bitch the rest of the year because I didn't do well at all. So doing like mock drafts like we're gonna do in this video and everything are very important. I actually did it this year for the first time, and I'm actually winning games. Go fucking figure. So it's important to be able to draft and know how to draft and everything if you want to have a good season. So this is a very important video. All the videos are important, but this one's in my opinion gonna be a little bit more fun. Still, you're gonna learn a lot. Make sure you have a beer cracked and everything so it doesn't get too fucking dry, and I'll try to at least keep it somewhat whimsical. So I'm Chaz. It's 3 beers deep. Let's get after it, boys. Peace.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Alrighty, boys. Welcome to Draft HQ. So I've actually never used the Fantasy Pros mock draft simulator before. I've always done it through Yahoo, because that's just what I do my fantasy football through. So I guess we're gonna be doing this together. So how this is gonna work is I'm going to go through what everything is. I'll put the definitions in this red box for anything at the bottom of the screen. So if I talk too fast, hit pause. It's pretty self-explanatory.
You're a smart motherfucker. That's right.
So let's, without further ado, before we get started with our draft. Oh, we got a timer, boys. Let's pause that real quick. Let's pause that timer for a sec. So before we get started, we got to get into things about the draft. So let me get my notes open and we're going to get started. So what is the draft? The draft is 15 rounds of you picking your team. And you're going to fill out your starters and your bench in this draft. And throughout the year, you're going to end up dropping a lot of these guys, trading some of these guys, and a lot of that. So, like, don't always expect that the team you start with is the team you're going to end with, because that's almost never the case. When you're drafting, it goes in a serpentine pattern. They call it serpentine because it's like a snake.
I'm a snake.
And so what that means is you have picks 1 through 10. And then once the 10th guy picks his first round, he gets to go again and pick he gets the first pick. So it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for the picks. And then it'll go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Am I fucking retarded?
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
And then it'll go back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then it'll go back to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Damn, I can never pass a fucking field sobriety test. And then so on and so forth. So you get how like you're going to be picking and everything. It's just going to go like that. And then usually, at least in my draft, you find out your draft pick that an hour before the draft starts. And then and it's completely random. So like that's how you get your draft picks. At least in my league, I think a lot of leagues do it like that. But so that's what we're doing. Your draft really does set the tone for the rest of your season, because if you blow, because typically the best players don't usually come out of waiver wires or free agency like that. There's a couple every season that everybody sleeps on. They end up having like huge seasons. You'll pick them up like during the season when they go off. But for the most part, your first 2 rounds should probably be your 2 best, most reliable players. Your next 2 rounds are obviously your next 2 best reliable players. But your first 2 rounds kind of should be people that you think are gonna get double digits week in and week out, and stuff like that. So now we gotta start talking draft strategies. And so, especially in my league, the way I learned fantasy football from my friend was you draft running backs. So we're gonna go over here, guys. And you see they have like the tiers. The latest, like, I don't even know what ECR is. Most accurate experts, whatever. So pretty much these are gonna be the people like everybody considers the highest picks over here. And you're gonna see that right over here. You're gonna see ADP. ADP stands for average draft position. It means when these guys are going in other fantasy drafts, mock drafts on the website, they're collecting all that data, and it shows you who people were typically picking first, second, third, fourth, and all that. Now I know some of the names on this list are injured and stuff like that, but we're gonna pretend like we don't know any of that, and it's the beginning of the season. So if you do know fantasy football, or at least you watch football and you're trying to learn fantasy, and maybe some of this info is going to seem dated, like Ezekiel Elliott's not doing great, Saquon's injured for the entire season, and then Christian McCaffrey's been out. Obviously, if we would have known that back, before the draft in mid-September, which is when I had it, because we always have ours the night before the season starts, so we have all the information before we draft our players. But we're going to pretend we don't know any of that. We're going to pretend the 2021 season, 2020 season, I don't fucking know. Whatever season we're in right now. We're going to pretend like it hasn't even happened yet. So, we have ADP. Their projections, what they've done. Down here. When you see bye means their bye week. You don't have to pay attention to that too much when you're drafting. But if you don't at least pay some attention to it, you could have 3, 4, 5 players all with the same bye week, and all of a sudden that week's gonna be dog shit for you. So you either have to just take a fucking L, or you have to get rid of some of them, maybe, especially in which you don't want to do if they're getting good, so you can get a player that's going to get you points that week. So that can get very, very messy as well. We're going to get into, again, like draft strategies and stuff. I'll talk you guys through it as we do it. I don't know if we'll do the whole draft. We'll do X amount of rounds. We'll see how long. I don't want this shit to drag out. I just want you guys to get a feel of like what a draft looks like. So we got let's go ahead and unpause this. Let's get to it. All right, so we have 10 seconds with our first pick. We want Christian McCaffrey. Should have won MVP last year. We think he got robbed. Best running back in the league. So let's pause this real quick and let's go through what just happened. So we're gonna go over here. So we took Christian McCaffrey with the first pick overall. And then, again, this is a mock draft. These aren't like actual people, but regardless. So you can see a running back with Ezekiel Elliott, a running back with Saquon, Michael Thomas in the fourth. I would not recommend, because this was a year when there was a lot of good wide receivers and a lot of good wide receiving options. So it's very much, again, a very running back dominated a year for at least the first 2 rounds. And you can see that with Derrick Henry. Running back again, Dalvin Cook, running back, Alvin Kamara, running back, Josh Jacobs, running back, Nick Chubb, running back, Joe Mixon, running back. So as you can see in the first round, all but one, everybody was taking a running back except that one guy who is Rhaegar, and took Michael Thomas. He was very good. He set NFL records last year and everything, but typically in the first 2 rounds, unless you're like maybe like me, who's about to get the back end of the second round, to where maybe there's not going to be as many good running backs left, but I get back-to-back picks. So we're going to scroll down to the second round now and see who everybody took. So we haven't been able to pick yet, because since we got the first pick in the first round, we got to get the last pick in the second round. But then again, you'll see we get the first pick in the third round, so you can kind of see where it goes. Just like this guy, Gateway Ruggs, had the 8th pick, but then you saw he had the 3rd pick. So you can kind of see how that serpentine kind of moves in. For the second round, Chris Godwin's a great pick. Not for your second round, actually. Tyreek Hill is a good second round pick. Aaron Jones is a great second round pick. Don't ever take Patrick Mahomes with your second pick. That is the dumbest fucking thing you can do. Kenyon Drake, sure. Miles Sanders, sure. Miles Sanders, actually, sure. Did I already say Miles Sanders? Devontae Adams, I mean. Good. Austin Eckler, I think got taken low. That's a good pick in the second. Julio Jones actually is a good pick. So now it's up to us. So now we these are the best available players. Sure. These are suggested players. So up here you can do your filters and everything. So we're gonna go to top ranked players. And so this is when you start to get into things like deep stats, something you've heard from a podcast, just very weird things. And so we're looking at these guys. We have 2 tight ends in Travis Kelce and George Kittle. We have a great wide receiver in Kenny Golladay. And then we have a running back, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now, Clyde's a rookie, so we don't really know how Clyde's going to do. But if you're like me, who got told this stat 2 years ago when Kareem Hunt came on the scene. Actually by a guy I still play fantasy with. John, what's up if you're watching? But also, like, he had told me that you got to watch out for Andy Reid running backs. Andy Reid's the coach for the Chiefs, who CEH plays for. And he's like, Andy Reid running backs are always do well, and they always have. And he's 1,000% correct. So with our second pick in the draft, we're going to take another running back with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Draft. If we just want to look at our roster over here, we can see who we have so far. So we have 2 running backs, which means this round we want to try to get some kind of receiver. So let's see who the best receivers are right now. So, A.J. Brown, Tennessee. Ryan Tannehill's been playing great since the playoffs last year. Obviously, since this round started, he's doing great. We don't want Kenny Golladay. We don't believe in Detroit. DeAndre Hopkins, high-flying air raid offense by Cliff Kingsbury. Again, these are all things, these are all things that go into like how you draft. It's just all this information almost seems extraneous. Actually goes into it. So and again, like, it's another thing, like, offenses matter. So if a player you like maybe isn't the number 1 guy on the team, but he's on an offense that scores 35-40 points a game, that's somebody you want on your team. So we want DeAndre Hopkins as a great wide receiver with a Heisman winning quarterback and an air raid offense. That all makes sense. We're going to take DeAndre Hopkins with our 3rd pick. Alrighty, now we're going to go back to all, because we could honestly maybe get either another running back or another wide receiver, depending on who we're seeing. So, like, right now I'm looking at the wide receivers, and the only one I would consider is Calvin Ridley. Even though he's the number 2 to Julio Jones, his Falcons do score 1 trillion points a game. Whether they're good or not, Matty Light can throw the fucking ball. But we're going to go over here to all. We're going to see. Now they're saying Mark Andrews, top tier tight end, but we're not taking a tight end with our 4th pick. It's too early. It burned me last year, actually. So I don't like any of those. What running backs are left? We have Melvin Gordon, who's actually sharing a backfield with Phillip Lindsay last year, so we don't like that. Mark Ingram has a running quarterback with Lamar Jackson, so we don't like that. Raheem Mostert, committee backfield. And so we're not super thrilled with that. I wish, actually, that this would show us more players than just these guys, because there might be a running back I want more than these guys. But I guess if these are my only 4 options, apparently, I guess we got to take one of them. So we're going to take Raheem Mostert. Great coach in Kyle Shanahan. Offense predicated on the run. So now it's our pick again. We get the back-to-backs. We don't want Cam Akers. We don't really believe in the Chargers. So who's available in the 5th? I think we're going to take Calvin Ridley. High-flying offense, good wide receiver. We've got 3 running backs. Let's get 3 wide receivers. You can see right here where it says flex. We've talked about the flex before. Again, that's any running back, tight end, or wide receiver can play as your flex. DJ Chark had a great year last year. Don't hate that, but we're definitely going to go ahead and out of all of these guys, we want Keenan Allen, he's going to have beginning of the year, it would have been Tyrod, and a mobile offense that suited Tyrod. But obviously, I would have taken Keenan Allen of all these guys at the beginning of the year before I knew Tyrod was going down. But great route runner, tall guy, aggressive, good hands. Can be kind of boom or bust, which means either he's going to score you all the points or he's going to score you none of the points. Sorry for that OBS thing at the bottom. So, yeah, we'll have to do all that noise. But, yeah, we want Keenan Allen with this pick in the draft. So as you can see, we're already in the 7th round. And most drafts... Get the fuck out of here. So most real drafts are not going to go this fast. Every person's going to take their time like we've been taking our time. Jesus. What are we in the 7th round? Let's look at a tight end. We like Tyler Higbee. We like the Rams offense. We like how much the Rams score. We like where we saw Tyler Higbee last year. He's getting drafted a little bit higher than Hunter Henry, even a little lower, but he's got the worst strength of schedule versus Hunter Henry's though, so that's actually a big thing. But Evan Ingram's got the best strength of schedule, but he's on the Giants. We're gonna go Tyler Higbee in a very competitive NFC West that likes to score a lot of points between the Seahawks, the Cardinals, the Rams, and then Seahawks, Cardinals, Rams. Who am I missing? Seahawks, Cardinals, Rams. Oh no, we didn't pick.
Stupid.
Who do we take? Okay, guys, I don't know if you just saw what happened, but if you take too long on your draft, I guess that's actually good. Keep an eye on your time. If you take too long to decide, the computer takes the highest ranked player, whether it's somebody you wanted or not. So they just took Deshaun Watson for us when we didn't want him. So I guess we got a quarterback now. So we still got to decide on this tight end. And we're going to take Tyler Higbee, NFC West. Let's go. So this will be the last one I kind of draft with you guys. And at this point, we're just going to go to all. Wow. Really? So we're going to take Will Fuller, the #1 option on a Houston team that just lost Deshaun Watson. So everybody's pretty much playing for not Deshaun Watson, excuse me, DeAndre Hopkins. But yeah, guys, like that's what like your draft is going to overall kind of go like. We're going to switch back to the big screen and kind of like just rehash and get the fuck out of here. Yeah, so boys, like that's what your draft is like arguably going to start looking like. That's just what it's going to look like. If the colors are getting weird in the camera, it's because it's overcast and it's just the light is changing every single time I click back to this camera. So just like, fuck it. But yeah, if you guys have any questions on your draft, like you're going to do that for 15 rounds pretty much. A lot goes into it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them. But yeah, draft is like half hunches, half information and all that bullshit. So, just draft happy. And then, our next episode, we're going to start doing, what you want to do. Our next episode will be, what you start doing during the regular season as far as dropping players, adding players, what the waiver wire is, waiver wire priority, and all that kind of stuff, how to do trades and all that shit. So we'll hop into that in the next episode. Until then, I'm your Uncle Chaz. This is 3 Beers Deep, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.